Hi, YouTube. How's it going? I haven't seen you in months and ages. Did you miss me?
Hi.
My husband. It's just my husband watching, so he probably didn't miss me.
Oh, is this live right now?
Sure.
Oh my goodness.
It's not my husband watching. He's at work. We don't have smartphones, so there's no way for him to watch. Also, he's working, and he's a hard worker. All right, ready with audio?
Wait a
We're
minute.
ready
you
with
have
audio.
a smartphone?
I have a smartphone,
Okay.
yes, but I don't have internet, so I can. Well, I don't have like LTE or whatever.
Okay.
So I can only get internet when there's Wi-Fi.
Got it.
So
Okay.
like I can't be in my car checking my email while I'm driving.
Well, that's actually a very good thing.
Safeguard. And I
never do that.
And then I just like turn off. There's like a cell tower tracking thing that I just turn off. Otherwise, it keeps searching and wastes the battery. So I also don't get like the voicemails. My mom knows this because she leaves me voicemails all the time, and I never listen to them.
Hey, Josie, what episode is this going to be?
This is episode number 39,
All right.
airing on September 17th on Apple Podcast. Show notes available at endertheveil.co. That's .co.
Are you on TuneIn already, or do you want me to submit you to TuneIn?
Sure.
Okay.
I just had a listener join the podcast group, facebook.com/group/undertheveil or something. And she said she listens on Spotify.
There we go. Awesome.
It's like a real
Was
thing.
it Jenna?
No,
Oh.
I know.
Jenna's a big-time Spotify advocate.
I wish Jenna would talk more about my podcast.
She did on hers lately.
I know she said that, and it made me feel so good. That's why I want her to do it more often.
Nice.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Hello, Lara.
Hello, Josie.
How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited because usually the topics that we talk about on the podcast are pretty broad, and this is really specific, and I think it's something that a lot of people specifically need and don't figure out and leave to last minute. It's worse than transportation. They're like, oh, we'll do that on the week of, and then the day before, and then the day of is kind of like a hairy nightmare.
Nice.
So what is Doggy Social?
Yeah. So my business will take care of all of that for you. So it's a stress-free environment for you. So that essentially, if you want your animal in the wedding, any animal, I haven't heard, it's only been dogs so far, so that's all I've got to talk about. But definitely open to, that's not true. I've got a possible cat coming up. But anyway, if you envision your animal in your wedding in any kind of capacity, or maybe you don't even know how you want them in the wedding, but you know you want them involved in that day, I take care of all that. So we meet and I get to know you and your animal and discover a little bit more about what you're kind of envisioning, and then make a little plan. And then so then the day of, jumping to the day of, I pretty much take care of everything. So the care and well-being of your animal is my number one priority. So you can just jump into your day and enjoy it and try to, just embrace the fun stuff going on. And then, so essentially I generally will pick up the animal from your house, chauffeur them to wherever we're either the ceremony or maybe taking pictures beforehand. That's pretty common. And I've got an SUV, so it's plenty big enough for 1-2 other animals.
Or large dogs.
Or large dogs, absolutely. My last one was a big lab, sweet Shelby. And so at that point, I'm connecting with your vendors. So you don't need to worry about a thing. And if you're off on your timeline, which it happens. You're not, the bride and groom and the couple will never know about this, hopefully. But in the back end, your vendors are trying to help keep that going. And so we're talking in the back end with each other. The last one, the photographer is letting me know we're off a little bit by the timeline. And I didn't want the pup to be outside for too long. It was kind of a hot day. So that was awesome, and was able to get Shelby out to the different pictures. And so I'm helping your photographer. This is me with the squeaky toy. And so I'm focused on kind of getting the pup. And I'm just really focused on what your photographer's going for. And you've already made a plan with your photographer. So your photographer knows what they're doing with the pictures. And I'm there to kind of connect with your photographer and your pup. And then also, of course, like, it's awesome. Your dog is there. Everybody gets to see your pup, and they want to see your pup, and they're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so is here. And my job at that point is let that happen, but don't let the pup jump up on your beautiful clothing. Like, that'd be a huge...
You used to have a gold dress, Mom, and now it has 2 paw prints near your vagina.
Exactly.
Like, awesome.
Exactly. So before, during, and after your ceremony or whatever you happen to be doing, you just don't want that. So you want your animal there, but not to have, then your mother or your friend or family member to have to deal with any of that. So that's what I get to deal with, and I love it. So making your day just go smoothly and as perfectly as possible, and then just giving your pup all the love and attention. So then after whatever we've planned out for the pup to be involved with, I take them home. I can stay the night with them, care for them, love them until somebody comes and relieves me. So.
And you do like honeymoon extended pet sitting too, so you would like maybe check on them 3 times a day, let them out, feed them, or house sit basically. If
Absolutely.
A dog can't be by itself. Like, I feel like a lot of couples coincide major life events all together. So they are thinking, we're going to get married. Also, we just got a dog. I don't think you say buy a dog. It's like not very socially acceptable
the rest
to
of the
talk
world
about
we
that
say,
you purchased.
Like, found. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You found it.
And
you
then
have a.
All my listeners know I'm not
fur
like the
baby.
biggest pet person, so I sound like I'm stumbling through this on purpose. And then they also are like buying a house or getting a new house. So those are big events that you might not have a lot of confidence around or feel unsure about, or just need like a little more tender loving care. So having someone that can stay with your new dog in your new house would kind of be a large benefit for when you go on your honeymoon and you need to focus on like keeping track of your passport and where you're staying.
Right. Correct. All the other things that go along with your wedding. So I can definitely take care of all of that.
So it sounds like what's included is pretty customizable, but the basics are pickup, delivery, so like bringing
chauffeuring,
pet. Oh my gosh,
pet
yes.
chauffeuring.
And then returning home, and that
so
it's the basics.
It's 100% custom, and I'm a strong believer in it. So I don't have it priced out by service. It's really what all can we do in the time frame that we have.
Right.
So every one of them is going to be custom, and we're going to put together a plan that makes perfect sense to you, and go from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so let's think of some ideas that brides and grooms can use to incorporate their pets into their wedding. So obviously there's the pictures when you're doing your couples portraits.
Mm-hmm.
You could also do family photos with your fur baby. What are some other ways?
Yeah, so obviously you can have them in the ceremony as either your ring bearer or your pet of honor or your best pet.
Flower girl.
All those things. Right, there we go. Flower pup. But then you can also, there's just lots of different things. I mean, it's really, that's just scratching the surface of what you could do. So I can't wait for somebody to be like, all right, me and the photographer have these 10 places in the cities that are awesome to take pictures. We're getting into our car. Photographer's going to meet us there, or maybe you guys are all driving together, and Lara will be in her car with your pup, meeting you in these different places so that you can get these awesome pictures of you dressed to the nines in your beautiful attire and your pup in there, maybe not for all of them, but for some of them, and I can kind of drive around and make that happen. So it's totally takes out any of the stress of how would we ever make that happen.
Right.
So that's one way. Most venues, if they're not already fur friendly, they're getting there and learning more about how they can be. And especially if I'm involved, then I can really help make that happen.
Absolutely.
So if your venue is telling you, no, it's not going to happen,
we have a certified pet sitter that is going to be escorting our dog.
Yep. So I can learn more about that. So the pup greeter,
yes,
that would be awesome. So part of my job would be helping the pup to, not jump up on people as they're going in to the ceremony or what have you, but also, of course, to help usher the people along, because everybody's of course going to want to stop and pet the dog. Not everybody, but most people will probably.
You're being so sensitive to my needs.
But a lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe so and so is here. So I can help with both those. That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Dying for that to happen. I do have a couple coming up that the groom had thought of that idea. I think it might be happening. It's
It could
totally
happen.
awesome.
Let's
idea.
put it out in the universe.
Yeah.
Have it happen.
I love it. And if you don't have a dog, I've saw somebody, can't tell you where it was, but somebody have rescue pups
Yes.
in their hands instead of flowers,
Yeah.
and went down the aisle.
Oh, that's so cute.
Adorable. But how would you actually make that happen? This girl.
Yeah.
So
right.
I can take care of all that for you. You
Here's
want
your
it?
puppy?
Yeah. So if
Here's your
you're,
puppy.
yeah, maybe you have your own dog and you want them to be involved too, but also you're a huge advocate for rescues. And so, yeah, let me connect to, or maybe you have a connection. You probably do if your dog is a rescue. Some puppies from there. They're going to get some great photos. People are going to fall in love. You don't want these puppies out and about for too long
Right.
after the ceremony, or even just walking down the aisle and then just maybe
They
getting
go
some
to like
really
an area
sweet
that's
pictures.
fenced in or
Yeah,
something.
or they need to leave. One
Yeah.
of those two things need to happen. So the foster parents will be involved in making that decision. And there's a lot behind what we would do. The care of the animal is number one. So, but getting those pictures involved would also be helping out the rescues. And people who have rescue animals are very,
Aware.
huge advocates. So
Yeah. That's cool.
those
I
are
like
just a
that
couple
idea.
of ideas.
Or what if you have a particularly talented dog and you did your first dance with your dog?
There are a lot of very talented. I mean, it's all about training, really. So the sit stay is the number one. If you decide you want your pup in your wedding in any kind of way, start training them sit and then stay, or sit and lay. Both are good and very different from each other. So yes, dancing. But you don't. My dog's not trained that well, and I dance with him all the time. Like,
Yeah,
you
it
don't
can
have
happen.
to. Yeah. Are you? Yes. I guess I haven't seen that picture yet, but I'm not sure why.
And then the dog wears a bow tie and maybe like have a little top hat.
It's adorable. There's so many options. There's so many options. Yeah. It's really the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
I'm really into Pinterest, and I've been putting together a Doggy Social MN Pinterest board of all the images of attire.
Yeah.
You will notice a lot of those animals are not dogs. I do digress. There's a lot of llamas in there. So any animal, all animals are open to that. But anyway, so they're not all dogs. There's definitely a lot of different.
There will be a
images.
link to that in the show notes
Awesome.
so people can look along. That made me come up with a few million questions that I'm sure our listeners are wondering. Okay, so let's talk specifically, like, how does that work? How do you get our dog from our home? Like, what if our dog is inside? Like, do you come to our house first so we can be like, here's a spare key, here's a garage code, all of those things?
Yeah, so that's just custom to the couple, depending on where they live and what they want to do. So if the day before they're comfortable at that point giving me a key, I'm going to come on by. It's all included. That's not going to cost extra. I'll come by and grab that key, and we'll work out a plan that makes most sense. Maybe you just have a code, and then you just give me the code whenever you're ready to give me the code. So I just make it as, that day. You don't need to be dealing with anything. So we've got a plan set up, and I'm going to think of those things before the day of so that you don't have to.
And what are some things that like you like to have ready for you, like leash,
We've
collar,
got all that planned out. So
treats?
yeah. So I've got
Extra
my fanny
food.
pack. Don't have it on right now,
Love
but I
fanny
love my fanny pack. I'm in the market for a better one, but it's
Okay, we're gonna design one
it's
because
good.
Chelsea from Mode House, who was on the podcast before, approached me at the last Minnesota Bride and event, and she was like, "We're designing custom fanny packs." So off-season project, it's on my to-do list. We're gonna design a custom fanny pack for you and for planners and for
my
any other
goodness.
wedding industry pros that
Yes.
need a place to store your things but need your hands
Yes.
accessible.
That would be
also.
awesome, and especially specifically for my needs, which would be all pup related,
Yeah.
versus
So durable.
potentially your needs for the
Mine's like
day
utility.
of wedding. Right. So different types of things that I would need, and I love that.
We're
I'm
gonna
excited.
do it. It's gonna happen.
So yes, I've got my fanny pack. I've already talked to you about what your favorite treats are for the pup. So I've got that on hand. Water, plenty of water. poop bags because it happens, a little rag because potty happens. What else do I have in there? My camera, so that we've got, or my phone, so that we can do some selfies.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not in many of the pictures, almost none of the pictures of the pup doing kind of their own little selfie thing. So your photographer is the expert. I'm just kind of like a little secondary novice with the camera to grab some fun little ones. And it really kind of depends on the animal. Maybe they're squeaky toys. Of course, I've got those I've got a lot.
Yeah.
This little tiny bag.
Yeah. It needs to be like a moderately sized backpack.
Right.
But sits on your hip.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're taking care of all of that during the day. I forgot the original question.
I don't know. Like, what things should people have prepared?
Right. So like the attire, we've discussed that too. So I know exactly what leash they want. You're either going to use the one that I have, which is this nice leather-looking leash, and you've probably found your own collar that you want to use,
or a little bow tie suit thing,
or the wreath, or whatever it happens to be.
Floral wreath.
And that's something I'm starting to learn too. I've made one. It's good. It's much better than I thought it would be. And then I'm going to be making another one soon. So I'm getting better and better at making those wreaths for people.
Yeah.
But your florist is also an awesome option. They're already using the flowers for your wedding, so they can incorporate exactly the same style and whatever it happens to be in there. So anyway, we've got all of that planned out. Those are questions I've asked, and we figured out, and I'll make sure that I either have it before that, or yes, of course, if I'm going to their house and they have those items, that they can just have those out. But again,
let's talk about like down the road, if there's this kind of a wedding out of town, and let's say it's like a 5-hour drive, and so you would be like hanging out all weekend or something. Like maybe they want their dog there at rehearsal and then at the wedding and then the next day at like brunch.
Right.
Is that something?
Right. It is something, absolutely. So I'd be very open to that.
It'd be like a hotel stay, and you would stay with a dog or
Right.
something like that.
It's all custom. I mean, if I've got it, my services are by the hour, but like I have one couple that's chatting with me that live in Milwaukee, and we're discussing that because it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And I want my price to be affordable, number one, because I love what I'm doing. And if you're getting married and you want your animal in your wedding, I want to be there for you.
Yeah.
I want to make this happen. So I try to keep that as affordable possible. If it's an extended stay or whatnot, let's chat. Let's figure it out. What's going to make the most sense? So
right. All of that makes sense. And I think that specifically couples need to think about the whole day, and then if they're thinking like, well, okay, I get she could do it, but also I think the neighborhood girl could do it also, or could do it too. Sure, but just like anything else in your wedding, you could have like your grandma bake a 5-layer cake, but you could also have a professional do it and have
That's a good
like
example.
the peace of mind that it's going to be done right, that they know what they're doing, that they're used to like last minute changes, or like are maybe just used to dogs. Like literally, if you're putting me in charge of your dog and your dog starts like panting too hard, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what's happening. I feel like your dog is like gasping for air or something. Like I don't know.
Where's the vet's number?
Also, I'm allergic to dog dander, so that would probably be a bad idea. But you know what I mean? Like I would be very lost, and I wouldn't know what I was doing. And maybe your neighborhood girl like walks your dog every week, so she like is familiar with them, but maybe she just isn't familiar with what the environment is at a wedding.
Right.
Also, maybe she's not strong enough to like restrain your dog so they don't jump on your cake, your 5-layer cake that your grandma made.
Right. Yes, because lots of things do come up that day that you've never dealt with before, never thought of before, because generally this is going to be
the first time you've
done this, right? Not always, but yeah, absolutely. So yes, I come with a lot of wedding planning experience. So that's kind of for me, the marriage of, pun intended, marriage of the wedding planning, and then my serious love and respect for animals combined together kind of makes it a perfect fit for me. Like as soon as I thought of it, I was like, oh my gosh, why did I not think of this sooner? This is just perfect. So yes, my experience with the wedding and being able to speak with vendors and learn with, or work with them on the back end so that you're never
like
seeing any of the issues, working
Yep.
with the timeline. Yep, and if there's something, maybe that I'm seeing that may not work quite perfectly with the timeline of something that's something I'm going to chat with you or your wedding planner about. So I come with all of that experience, super comfortable in it. I love it. I love the day of. I love the day of a wedding and making that perfect for you and your family and your friends.
Right. Because what you're touching on is like, let's say a couple hires you for 3 hours, right? And you're going to go and you're going to pick up the dog and then you're going to get to the wedding and maybe that takes 45 minutes. And so then getting back, maybe you're buffering and like allowing for 45 minutes. And so then you have 45 minutes to be at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the photographer is thinking like, okay, and you'll get getting ready pictures with your dog in the morning. And then we'll do couples portraits after your first look. Well, those might only take 15 minutes each, but they're at completely opposite ends of the day. And so then that wouldn't work with what like the couple has hired you for.
Right.
So then thinking like, okay, well, do we want getting ready pictures with our dog? And if so, okay, then we need to widen the hours that we have a pet sitter for, which kind of you would want to do anyways. Like, I just think it's sad, the idea of you going off and getting married and your dog sitting at home by itself. Like, personally, I think it's sad.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want your dog to like be a part of the festivities, but also just like have like a new adventure of its own and like be occupied during the day when they're not going to get a whole lot of love in that weekend because they're going to be so busy and there's going to be so many people in it. And also it might be overwhelming to like be at your house and a bunch of strangers come and like feed it or let it out. I'm saying it because I'm trying to be gender neutral, but
that works. That works too. I think
he, she.
The fur families out there fine with that. Yep, absolutely. So making sure the pampering and loving of your animal, I can't help myself. Like I just, it's a really good fit for me because I'm always totally socially inappropriate when animals come along. So I'm like, an animal, and I'm all into the animal and forget about the humans. And so in a wedding environment, of course, my professionalism of helping and making sure that day goes perfect, but yet my genuine love for this animal and making sure that they're happy and enjoying themselves is kind of a perfect little marriage for that day. And then before and after, of course, I'm just giving them all my love and attention and pampering. So.
And what do you wear? Like, do guests know that you're kind of like the designated animal caretaker?
Yeah. So I'll be wearing something similar probably to this, but white is not the smartest option in the world. Is what
but something with your logo
had
on
learned.
it.
Yeah, it'll have my logo on it. So it'll probably be a darker color.
But maybe not black because then you can see all the dog hair. Do you care about that? You don't care about that?
No, well, I want to look appropriate, so I'll probably have something with just something appropriate with my logo on it, so that people know I'm the dog lady or whatever they want to call me.
Like a white crushed velvet jacket with clumps of cat hair on it.
Right, yeah, no, maybe not that. So I guess I'm a little in the market for a new outfit, but yeah, they'll definitely be able to know, and I'll be with your dog the whole time. Like they'll clearly, the last one I remember, I think it was the mother of the bride. She's like, "So who are you again?" And it was really cute. And I quickly told her, I was like, "Oh, I'm here to help take care of Shelby," and you could tell she didn't quite get it. I was like, "Okay." But then as kind of the pictures were going on, I could tell everybody was like, "Oh, this is helpful. Like, this is great."
Yeah.
And if for some reason, like during the pictures, which this happens, it's potty time or I'm over it. The pup is over it. They need some time to go walk around. But the humans, everybody you have designated for the pictures,
needs to be there.
Yeah, needs to be there. So it's my job to go have some fun with Shelby, distract, do whatever needs to happen, and then come back ready to go again.
I feel like I had a wedding where they had their dog the entire time, and there's like the cutest picture ever. Maybe I'll put it in the show notes that of the dog licking a plate. I feel like that might also be on your task list if you stayed that late, making sure that the dog doesn't eat animal food or human food.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, probably not chocolate
I thought
cake.
you were going somewhere else with this. Let me tell you this cute, adorable idea,
too. Okay, tell me.
I had a shoot recently, and the person that was going to bring the cake, she was looking into making a cake just for dogs.
Oh.
I've not seen that yet, and it's an adorable idea.
Instead of a groom's cake, have a puppy cake.
Exactly. How freaking adorable would that be? Oh my gosh. So like having your own cake or whatever you happen to do, cupcakes, or there's so many options for desserts. Sky's the limit. But perhaps for the pup, just a little mini dog cake, and getting some pictures with that. And yes, it'll be messy, and don't worry, Lara's here to help clean the pup up or the little mess that they've made. But yeah, I haven't seen that yet. It would be adorable. So anyway, yes, that's not where you're going with it. With making sure, yes, that the pup isn't eating all
they
the
were fine with it,
scraps
but I was
and-
like, I don't know, can dogs
Yeah.
eat? Like,
Again, it's
chicken
all about
breast?
learning about the couple and the pup.
Yeah.
So if they're like, yep, we really want them to kind of be meandering around,
Yeah.
and everybody's going to try to give them food, but we really don't want that, or we're totally fine with that, or whatever it happens to be. So
Yeah, that's great. And so going forward, what are some things that you're really excited about with Doggy Social? And you have an event coming up.
yeah, so I mean, I'm just really excited to get the word out. It's a very new business, so I just want people to know it's an option. I know and this has nothing to do with when I got married, but when I did, I had a cat at the time. He's 15, and didn't have my pup yet, but he's obviously, I've had him for 15 years. He's my best friend. And I never said aloud to anybody, not my fiance, not my photographer, nobody, that I wanted some pictures with Taz. And to this day, I'm like, oh, gosh, I wish I had said something, because we could have figured something out. But there definitely wasn't a service that I was aware of out there that could make that happen. So it's just something that I didn't think about. So I want people to know, I want to get the word out that that is an option.
Yep.
If you think for even a second, like, oh gosh, it'd be really great to have just a picture, like, no
Right.
problem. I'll come and bring your animal to the hotel as you're getting ready and doing some cute, adorable pictures, and then bring them back home if it's just a short amount of time. Maybe you don't, see the whole day, or
Right.
just there's a moment where like, oh gosh, that'd be great, but
It's
I'm
such
not
a good point, too, because I just had a couple earlier this summer, and they really, really wanted pictures with their dog, big dog. And they had like a vintage car, and they were like, we're going to get all these images. And the bride was getting married at a hotel. And so they were going to go do first look downtown St. Paul and then go back home and take pictures. And just the way that the day went, right? The groom didn't make reservations for his brunch, so then the brunch went late, and then he was kind of in a rush, and so they just decided to like scrap it, which they kind of had already beforehand, just trying to figure out logistics. But that's the thing, like, I didn't know you existed, and I think I had mentioned hiring a pet sitter, but when you just mention ideas and you don't have something to back them up, then people are like, great, and we'll also fly to the moon in between our ceremony and reception. And so they didn't do it, but I'm sure they're like a little bit remiss about not having those images.
And that's a good example too,
this family
because
member.
all of a sudden the time gets off, and again, it always gets off just a little bit, but again, it's your vendors, all of your vendors' responsibility to make that get back on track again.
And it's a big difference, like driving all the way home or someone just coming to you or being where you're at.
Right. Yeah. So that's my biggest exciting thing, is just getting the word out there. I'm working on my wreaths and what I can do, and during the day I do pet care services, so getting to know better working with animals in general. They're all different ages. That's just in the area that I live in, that I do that, so that I've got all of my time before and after to commit to the weddings, which I'm just super pumped about, because I think a lot of people would be really interested and really into that idea if it was something
if they knew it was
somebody could
available.
take care of it. Right.
I think they are.
Right. And the event that you had mentioned, so that's in late September, and that is at the Minnetonka Orchards. They are doing a fun, festive dog days event, and they just asked me to kind of mention it to vendors to see if they could get involved. And what I get out of it is I get to choose the rescue that they're donating some proceeds to, and that's Safe Hands Rescue, because that's where I got my pup.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's an orchard. I've been to a lot of events with pups, but not yet an orchard. So that'll be super fun with all the dog vendors, there's gonna be a fashion show and the works. So it'll be super fun.
And I'll link to that in the show notes, and maybe I'll do a little Instagram blast too to remind you listeners or watchers if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So I like to have my guests give like one piece of advice that they wish that couples would take for their wedding day. What advice could you give?
The day of, if you feel like you've forgotten something, it's fine. It's not worth it. It's happening. This is going to be an awesome day. Breathe, enjoy, let everything go.
Just be in the moment.
Just be in the moment.
Even things like I feel like a lot of times socks, bow tie or a tie or pocket square gets forgotten for like one groomsman. I don't know. Does that really matter? Like, I don't know. Like one time the wedding shop sent a courier with an extra pocket square.
Oh, wow.
Kudos.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's going to ruin your wedding pictures. Like
Right.
having one person without a bow tie
Right.
or pocket square.
And
don't know.
I get where the couple's coming from too. They've spent all this
Yes.
time and energy and money.
And Gerald, we sent you to the wedding shop and you were supposed to pick up your
Right.
shit and you didn't pick
Right.
it all up.
Right. So
Yeah.
I completely get where he's coming from, but it's ultimately
know.
just not worth it. This happening.
It's not
the
worth
day
it to freak
of-
out.
Correct.
Right.
Because if this is your day and you just want to be able to enjoy it. And
Yep.
if something can be changed, or in fact, I told a recent couple that booked with me that, you don't know me very well, but I am your friend. I'm your vendor more than anything else, but I'm your friend. I'm going to your house to
Right.
pick up your pup to bring you. If you forget the rings, I'm sure you won't. But if something, happens like that, text me. Let me know. Like,
Yeah.
I also want to be there for you on your wedding day in general.
Yes. I will go in
So-
your underwear drawer and pick out that pair that you forgot to grab.
Exactly. So if something has been forgotten or what, and there's anything that I can do at all,
Yeah.
I'm
Extra
there.
shoes.
Yeah.
A key.
What have you?
I don't know what else. Yeah, pretty much anything.
Yeah.
A steamer. I always bring a steamer. I always get the text in the morning like, Josie, can you bring a steamer to the wedding? And
It's
I don't
already
really have
there.
a steamer. Like, I just have an iron that has like the steam option. I always bring it. It never gets used. I like show up. I'm like, oh, do you need it? And they're like, we're fine. We figured it out. I'm like, okay, I should just leave my iron in my car.
But still, that's great. That's awesome that you have that. That's what you
Yeah,
learn, right?
yeah.
In the industry is just making sure that you have it there just in case.
Just in
having the
case.
things just in case is a big thing.
It's
so
a big thing. Yeah, I agree. Well, where can listeners go on the internet to find Doggy Social?
yeah, I hopefully made that easy to just go to doggysocialmn.com. So DOGGY socialmn.com, and then also Instagram, which is Doggy Social MN as well.
And Pinterest.
And Pinterest, Doggy Social MN.
Yes.
Facebook, Doggy Social MN.
Yes.
So I tried
Super
to be
easy.
consistent
It's nice it wasn't taken.
and easy. I know.
Hallelujah for state abbreviations.
There's a pet service in Australia, I think.
Nice.
Which is Australia or is it New Zealand? Oh well. They have Doggy Social, but they didn't have Doggy Social MN, so
So just saying.
and it wasn't a pet wedding attendant service.
all the other like pet wedding attendant services in the country are like Paw Perfect or like I don't even know. Love and
Forever
Kisses.
Weddings.
Yeah.
Which
weird.
they're the East Coast ladies.
Yeah.
And as my business is growing, I saw there. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I do something similar. So we've been chatting and kind of
that's
learning
cool.
from each other, and they're super cool. So
Nice.
yeah, if you're in the East Coast listening, call it Forever Weddings. I'm saying that wrong.
For
Forever and Ever Weddings.
we'll have it in the show notes.
Okay, good. They're awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on today. And I end every episode with a high five. So
Yeah.
have a great day.
Thank you very much.
And goodbye,
sounds good.
YouTube.
All right, you're not off YouTube yet. Hold on. Hi, YouTube.